Hey, this is Speech 3, Share the Story, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of welcoming strangers into your church. Have you ever wondered how your church family would respond if a stranger walked through the door? Like, would they be judgmental or would they be nervous, maybe avoid them at all costs? I got to experience this firsthand one Sunday on how the church family that I love and support responds to the same situation. So, I'll give you some insight on this. We had a weird encounter with a stranger. He appeared to be in the mid to late 40s, a very tall man. His face was sunken in, and he appeared to either be on drugs or even just really super tired. He wore several layers of clothes, and he had a large backpack. Let me tell you about this man. His name was Kevin. As this man was being invited into church, he put his pack underneath a tree. The gentleman that let him in invited him over to have coffee and donuts. So they had had small talk, asking simple questions, just how are you doing and things like that. Whenever one of the gentlemen said, "Hey, bud, where are you from?" Nervously, the gentleman said, "The world." And another asked, "What's your name?" And he responded, "My name's Kevin." Kevin stayed for the church service and talked to the pastor afterwards. The pastor was super excited about him being there and just wanted a background story on him, where he was from, what he was doing, and if there's anything our church could do to help him. And Kevin had no problem talking to the pastor about how he was a pastor on foot, and he was just trying to get to Branson. See, Kevin didn't have a home in Branson. He just knew of a place where he could camp there. He continued to tell the pastor how he had came across some tough luck, and he was tired from walking. Kevin asked the pastor if it was possible that he could lay behind the church underneath the tree, put his pack on, and get a little rest before he continued on his way. Kevin was tired of walking. He was a hitchhiker. The place he was going in Branson the place he was going in Branson was 100-acre lot, and it was owned by the city. So this lot, basically, it's well known for having people camp, homeless people camp, and so Kevin had no home there. He had no family to speak of. Kevin was alone. Continuing the conversation with Kevin, the pastor said, "Absolutely not. For one, it's raining. It's very wet outside, really cold, and we're going to be leaving soon. There'll be nobody here. Unlock the door for you to go to the bathroom." And Kevin, the least of his concern was the bathroom. I can tell you that is for sure. Feeling very upset before Kevin about walked away, the pastor said, "Man, there's a hotel across the street. Why don't you let us put you up in a hotel? We have no problem doing that." Kevin was really reluctant. He didn't want to spend anybody's money. He didn't want to be a burden on anybody, and so he quickly declined. He was like, "No, absolutely not. I don't want to do this." See, one little thing about something that happened in our church before Kevin had even talked to the pastor, before donut time, whenever he was first coming in the door, one of the old men of our church noticed a tired young man that needed a break, that needed to lie down. So this man got to talking to what I call his chatty Cathy wife, and told her about how they needed to get some money out of checking and give to him so that he could have a hotel room, because he knew that he needed to sleep. So his wife, sure enough, she went and chatted to her friends and talked to them about how, this guy needed a hotel, and if anybody wanted to pitch in, they were going to give the money to the pastor to take him over there today. And so they got all the money together, and lo and behold, they had enough. More than enough, actually. So as the pastor was finishing up the conversation with Kevin, about the arrangements of the hotel room and things like that, one of the ladies walked up and said, here, I want to give a donation to help out with the cost of a hotel or anything that you need. I don't know your name, but I want to make sure that we here at the church can help you. So the pastor, was shocked. He could not believe that it was already in the works before he even started talking to this man. It was a very incredible. Kevin, the next day, we met back up with Kevin, me and the pastor, and the cool thing about this is we got to take him to a bus station because we had enough money. After them raising the hotel cost, they got enough money for a bus ticket for him to go to Branson. And so Kevin was able to get a free ride to go to Branson. And how cool is that? We were able to drive him to the bus station, and along the way he told us all about his life. We learned a lot about his life anyway. And he told us about how he liked to protect kids and how he liked to engage with children's programs and different organizations that help kids in poverty and also in abuse situations. He didn't go too in-depth with his personal life, but he did tell me that he loved God. Through everything that he was dealt, he never had lost faith. Kevin acted as though his life was a cakewalk. I really couldn't believe it because he literally had nothing. So I just think through all this, through meeting Kevin, seeing his challenges that he was faced with, and that no matter what, in my life it could always be worse. And I should cherish the things that I have. So also by the church coming together and showing God's love, it helped me to see that my church family, no matter what, through it all, it doesn't matter. Them showing me that they can do this with Kevin, they can do this, they can come together for anything. God wants us to love the least of these just like Jesus did. And since all this has happened, I've looked back and I wonder, where is Kevin now? How is he doing? But I also wonder, Kevin could have been Jesus. This church community loved like Jesus. I'm so blessed to live in this community that showed so much appreciation for Christ. It really touches my heart that I belong to this community. No matter what God's put you through, no matter who God has put you in contact with, whether homeless, old, a stranger, no matter poor, whatever, we should always love like Jesus. It doesn't matter who they are, we should help them. Like it says in Matthew 25:31-40, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me in. That day, this church helped me change my perspective on loving like Jesus. My question for you today is, are you going to turn down Jesus?